Hello and welcome to It's Tea Time. I'm your host, Jonathan Sellers, and with the Director of Athletics, John Hartwell, on the road this week, we're going to start things off talking about the volleyball team with Coach Sonny Kirkpatrick. And Coach, your team was down in Texas over the weekend, taking on Texas State, and your team dropped that match. What were your thoughts on that match?
We had some good performances. It's a really difficult travel trip to make. Texas State played a lot better than we did. But we challenged them at points, and we're seeing a lot of really good things from our young players.
And you got another chance to see your young players in action coming up as you hit the road. You go to Atlanta to face Georgia State and then down to Mobile to face South Alabama to wrap up your season. And what are your thoughts on the weekend?
You know, anytime we put ourselves give us an opportunity to compete, you know, we always have a chance to win. And our girls have really put a lot of effort and a lot of time into trying to get better and keep going through the season. And we expect to go down and compete and try to grab a win or two. We've done some really nice things this season. It doesn't show it on the record, but our young players are really getting a lot of experience, and ultimately that looks really good going into the future.
Well, let's talk about that just for a minute. I mean, I know this season hasn't turned out like you wanted record-wise, but getting that experience for some of the younger players, and I know it hasn't been how you wanted it because of some injuries and things like that, but how important is that for the future to get those players worked in, not just in practice situations, but in actual games?
Match experience is vital. You can't replicate a match in practice. It's such a random game that no matter how much or what you try to accomplish, when you get into a match situation where you're playing a totally different opponent, things are totally different. So you just have to try to get those players experience that they can use in case something happens that they're not prepared for.
Now, I know you have been hot on the recruiting trail. It's something the coaches do year-round. And was the volleyball recruiting just wrapped up at the fall signing break? Did y'all have any signees during that time?
We did. We've added 3 young ladies. We've added Logan Page out of the Atlanta area. She was the setter on her team. We're recruiting her as a middle hitter or right side. 6'2" player who won the state championship in her last match of her high school career. We actually also signed a girl out of Ocala, Florida, Jordan Salisbury, who's about a 5'10", 5'11" outside hitter for us that'll come in and do a nice job. And then we added a defensive specialist out of the Atlanta area as well, and we're excited about them. We're also planning to add a bunch more players, 3 or 4 more through the spring semester. Mm-hmm. And our team, while we have a bunch of returners coming back, will look a lot different next year as well.
So with the springtime, do you still hit the road? Do you go to club matches now? I mean, a lot of high school seasons are over, so is it more club?
It's all club. Okay. We will travel all over the country, going to national qualifiers and local tournaments, and we can get out and see 10,000 kids on a weekend rather than go to a high school and see 30. So we get a little bit more bang for our buck on that, and plus it gets Troy's name out there in areas where we might not be as well known as we are here in the South.
All right, Coach. Well, I know you're not thinking about that right now. You've got a couple of matches that you're looking forward to, and good luck in those, and hopefully you can come back with 2 victories.
Thanks, Jonathan.
All right, and stay tuned for more coming up on It's Tea Time. And welcome back to It's Tea Time, and we're going to take a look at the men's basketball team with the assistant head coach. That's Coach Marcus Grant. And Coach, y'all started off the season with 2 games at home. You won the first one against Bruton Parker, and then the second one against Ole Miss. A good, hard-fought game and a great atmosphere, but came out on the losing end of that one. But let's start off with the Bruton Parker game. Your team got a chance to play kind of a lesser-known opponent to start the season off, and how do you think they handled that?
First game at home, first regular season game, showed some butterflies starting off, got off to a slow start. It was a 2-point game, 2 or 3-point game at halftime. But in the second half, I think we settled down and started playing up to our capabilities and went on to win the basketball game. The guys, they were kind of looking forward to the second game against Ole Miss because that was such a big opponent coming in. And they may have overlooked Bruton Parker a little bit, but we settled down in the second half and came out and did what we needed to do to win the game.
And speaking of the Ole Miss game, you mentioned kind of nerves for the opening season. Do you think the nerves kind of carried over to playing that bigger opponent in Ole Miss?
Oh, no doubt about it. No doubt about it. We were so excited and so pumped up. The atmosphere was unbelievable. Right. The best atmosphere I've seen in 2 years here. And our guys, they felt the pressure. And the first 5 minutes, we were so nervous we couldn't even score. We were stuck on 2 points forever.
Right.
We finally settled down and started to play the way we're capable of playing. But give credit to Ole Miss. They had a lot to do with us not scoring because they're a very good defensive team. They have very good physical guards on the perimeter and inside. So they had a lot to do with us not scoring.
Well, even despite the outcome, despite the loss, what did you take from the game?
We're very encouraged with the way our guys fought. They weren't intimidated. Like I said, those guys, we're playing against some big physical guys, but we didn't back down any. Our post guys fought those post guys, nailed and tooth. Perimeter players, they did what they need to do. And like I said, we just came out on the short end, didn't make enough plays at the end of the game, and unfortunately they did. And that's what they have, the SEC preseason player of the year on their team, Jarvis Summers, and he stepped up and made big plays all night. Had 21 points and 5 assists, so that's what big-time players do.
And one guy we got to kind of highlight from the game is Wesley Person. People know his name from his family,
yes.
But he's kind of made a name for himself in his first couple of games, especially the game against Ole Miss, his second career game, scoring 25 points, really lit it up in the second half. I mean, is that what we can expect to see from him throughout the year?
No, we hope so. That's what he's shown us all preseason and the first couple of games, that he's an excellent shooter, excellent offensive player. If he gets an open look, most of the time he's going to knock it down. Excellent free throw shooter. Went 10 for 10 from the line last night. The thing that we have to work with him on is playing on the other end, the defensive end. In high school, you just sit back and play 2-3 zone the whole game, and you don't have to work on man-to-man defense. But at this level, you have to be able to play man-to-man defense. So that's the next step with him. He's going to be fine offensively, but what we have to get from him is the same excitement on the defensive end.
And now your team will travel to Athens, Georgia on Friday and take on the Bulldogs, and another SEC opponent. What do you know about this team?
Very familiar with them from my days back at Mississippi State. Well-coached team, disciplined team, big and physical also. All those SEC teams are big and physical, so we'll have our work cut out for us inside. But we have to attack them the same way we did Ole Miss, is come in and be ready to rebound the basketball against those guys. If that's the first thing you have to do.
Right.
And then after that, they have really good guards. They returned 3 of their top 4 scorers from last year. So it'll be a tough test for us, but I think our guys are up for the challenge.
All right, Coach. Well, thank you for joining us, and good luck in Athens.
All right, thank you.
All right, stay tuned for more coming up on It's Tea Time. And welcome back to It's Tea Time, and we're going to take a look at the women's basketball team now with the head coach of the women, and that's Coach Chandler Rigby. And Coach, thank you for being here today. I know y'all have started the season off with 2 losses, but 2 quality opponents and 2 pretty close games that you had a chance either way. So what are your thoughts on the start of the season?
Well, I'm the most hopeful and positive 0-2 coach right now. We started off with Auburn on the road, and they have a very good team this year. They have 4 starters returning from last year's team, and we hung with them pretty well until they really put a zone 3/4 court trap on us that we weren't. I thought we were ready, but we weren't ready for it, and they created some turnovers that we shouldn't have given them, and they got a lead on us, beat us by 18. Then we went right on over to Clemson and played a much better game there, much more competitive. In fact, I thought right before right before halftime, I thought we were in control of the game. The last media timeout, we lost some concentration. The last 4 minutes of the first half, we were up by 6 at that point, and we went into halftime down by 7. So we've got to correct that thing, that little letdown. We lost some concentration. We kept losing our man and our matchup, but it shows that we're right there with those level of teams. And we've got to stop getting moral victories and get an actual win on the board.
Now, you've got a good mix of experience and then some newcomers coming in. Are y'all still kind of working on getting that cohesion, that teamwork together?
Yeah, I mean, we're still finding who's the role. I mean, that was easy last year. Joanna Harden was going to score for us.
Right.
But right now, we know we need to share the ball, and we've got to find who's going to do things night in and night out. One thing we're really proud of is the consistency of Renita Garrett, who's a senior. She had a double-double both nights.
Right.
There's not many people across the nation that we have played 2 games and had a player have a double-double both nights. So we're trying to challenge her, see how long she can make that stretch. I hope 29 to 32 more games, she'll get that, and we'll be solid in that position.
And so another place you're solid is the point guard place, where Ashley Beverly Kelly has returned and been there the past 2 years and really kind of led the charge. How important is it to have her in that role?
Well, it's really important. However, at Clemson, that's one of the things that hurt us. She came out, I think she made the first 5 points of the game, and then she got in foul trouble. She stayed on the bench the whole first half.
Okay.
However, Lacey Buchanan, one of our new players, stepped up and really played well in that position. So, You know, it hurt us because Ashley was on the bench a great portion of the game, but it taught us something that we do have another point guard to come in there and that can handle things.
Okay, and now y'all go on, or y'all are at home. Your home opener on
Yes.
Friday. It's a noon game, so a
Yes.
lunchtime game gives a chance everybody to come out. And you're playing against Southeastern Louisiana, a team where you got your degree from, so kind of a
Yes.
important matchup for you.
It is. It's kind of like the team from back home for me. I've never played them before, never played against them. They have a brand new coach this year. It's going to be a great game at Trojan Arena because we've watched them film them. They played Minnesota in their first game, and they really push the ball up the court. They really try to score high numbers, much like us. I think that's great for women's basketball in general, so it should be a great game in Trojan Arena. It's free. They're open the full menu in the concession stand for people to come have their lunch with us and watch us tip off our first home game.
And that should be exciting, as you said, fast-paced, and not just your team will be doing it, both teams. So,
Right.
I mean, it could be a 90-day,
race.
80 game, and then on next Monday you play Florida A&M. Do you know much about them right now? Have you got to scout them?
No, I don't. We played them last year, but their main go-to player graduated. They've signed some other great players, but I'm trying to kind of keep that on the back burner until after we get that first win against Southeastern.
All right, Coach. Well, good luck on Friday,
Thank
and
you.
hopefully next week we'll be talking about a couple of wins for you.
I hope so. Thank you.
Thank you for joining us on It's Tea Time. Join us again next week for more on It's Tea Time.